This is Kievan Rus in the year 945, a young and hungry state stitched together by Viking warlords who decided that ruling was more profitable than raiding. The prince was a man named Igor, and Igor had a problem every medieval ruler had: taxes. Specifically, he collected them from a subject tribe called the Drevlians, literally the people of the trees, forest folk who paid tribute to Kiev in furs, honey, and grudging silence. One year, Igor collected his tribute and decided it wasn't enough, so he turned his men around and went back for a second. The Drevlians had a saying, more or less: if a wolf gets into the sheep pen once, he'll come back, unless you kill him. So they killed him, gruesomely by most accounts. The sources say he was torn apart between bent trees. Message received, they thought. Problem solved. Except Igor left behind a wife. Her name was Olga. And the Drevlians were about to learn that grief in the wrong hands is a weapon. Feeling confident, the Drevlians sent an voice to Kiev with an offer: marry our Prince Small and unite our peoples. Practical, efficient, extremely on brand for medieval diplomacy. Olga smiled and said yes. Then she asked them to arrive with great honor, carried into the city on their own boat rather than walking. Flattering, they thought. They didn't notice that the boat was being carried straight towards a freshly dug trench. Olga had them dropped in, boat and all, and buried alive while she watched from above, allegedly asking if the honor suited them. The Drevlians, somehow not yet suspicious, sent a second, more distinguished delegation. Olga welcomed them warmly and insisted they clean up from their journey first, in the bathhouse. She locked the doors and burned it to the ground with everyone inside. Revenge 2 complete. Now Olga did something almost sporting. She sent word ahead. She was coming to Drevlian territory herself to hold a funeral feast for her late husband, right there at his grave, and invited the Drevlians to join her. They came, they drank. Olga made sure that the mead kept flowing. When her hosts were thoroughly, helplessly drunk, Olga's soldiers moved through the crowd. Chronicles claim roughly 5,000 Drevlians died at that funeral. Revenge 3 complete. One Drevlian stronghold remained, the city of Iskorosten, the very place where Igor had been killed. Olga laid siege and after a year offered peace. A token tribute, she said, just 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from every household. Relieved, they paid gladly. Birds seemed like a bargain. Olga's men tied smoldering embers to the birds' legs and let them go. The birds flew home to their nests inside the wooden city. Iskorosten burned to the ground in a single night. The survivors were captured, killed, or enslaved. The Drevlians, as an independent people, effectively ceased to exist. And here's the twist history loves to still sit with. This woman, architect of 4 increasingly theatrical massacres, went on to rule Kievan Rus with real competence, reformed its tax system, and eventually converted to Christianity. The Orthodox Church later made her a saint, Saint Olga, equal to the apostles, patron of widows and converts. The woman who buried men alive, burned a bathhouse full of gas, got an army drunk before slaughtering it, and torched a city with pigeons, canonized. Grief, it turns out, is patient, and in 10th century Kiev, it had wings. By 1218, Genghis Khan wasn't interested in conquering the world. Not yet anyway. He'd already unified the Mongol tribes and crushed the Jin dynasty in the east. To his west sat the Khwarezmian Empire, a massive Persian Islamic state ruled by a Shah named Muhammad II, covering modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, and Central Asia. Genghis Khan didn't want war with him. He wanted trade. So he sent something almost touchingly optimistic: a caravan of 450 merchants loaded with silk, silver, and goods, along with a letter proposing peaceful commerce between empires. The caravan reached a border city called Orchard. The city's governor, a man named Inalchuk, looked at 450 loaded camels and decided these were spies, not salesmen. He had the entire caravan arrested, robbed, and executed.
every merchant but one, who escaped to carry the news home. Genghis Khan, still hoping for peace, tried diplomacy one more time. He sent 3 ambassadors to the Shah, demanding Inalchuk be handed over for punishment. The Shah's answer? He executed the lead ambassador and shaved the beards of the other 2, a calculated humiliation, before sending them home in disgrace. That was the moment the Khwarezmian Empire's fate was sealed. Genghis Khan mobilized what may have been the largest cavalry army the world had ever assembled to that point. Some estimates run past 150,000 riders. This wasn't a raid, this was extermination. Step 1. Outrod. The city that started it all held out for 5 months before falling. Governor Inalchuk was captured alive and brought before the Khan. His punishment fit the crime with poetic precision. He'd been greedy for silver, so the Mongols poured molten silver into his eyes and ears until he died. Revenge 1 complete. Stop 2. Bukhara, one of the great centers of Islamic scholarship in the world, reduced to rubble. Genghis Khan reportedly rode into the city's grand mosque, declared himself the punishment of God, and burned the city regardless. Stop 3. Samarkand, one of the richest cities on earth. It fell in days. Much of its population was killed or marched off as slave labor and human shields for the next siege. Final stop, Urgench, the Shah's capital and the empire's last real stronghold. The Mongols besieged it for months, taking brutal casualties in street-by-street fighting. So they stopped fighting the city and started fighting the river. Mongol engineers diverted the Amul Darya, flooding Urgench and drowning what remained of it. Historical chronicles, likely exaggerated but not by much, claim over 1 million people died across the campaign. Revenge complete. A whole empire erased. And the Shah himself, the man whose insult started it all, fled west, hunted across his own collapsing empire, and died in 1220, alone, sick and destitute on a tiny island in the Caspian Sea, reportedly too poor to be buried in a proper shroud. Here's the part that actually changed history. This campaign didn't just punish one governor, it gave the Mongols a permanent foothold deep in the Islamic world, a launchpad for the invasions of Persia, the Caucasus, and eventually Russia and Eastern Europe. One governor, 450 dead merchants, a
I hope you guys
beard.
enjoyed the video.
That's the entire
I know.
seat for the bloodiest
Would not be the
part in
best
medieval
video
history.
that you guys would have ever seen, but I tried my best. So if you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you like the video and leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. Thank you. Bye bye.